So, White responds to a picture of Black holding a red lightsaber by saying, "Mommy, I swear I'm a good boy, can you hold my saber like this too?" Starting things off with harassment, which is most definitely illegal. I really hope this app is anonymous because this is the type of text that you do not want on your digital footprint, and a mistake. Black hits back with, "Is this real?" violating their opponent in every way, shape, and form with an excellent move. Trying to riz someone up and being accused of being a bot is a new low, and that not even the biggest of gooners deserve, but this one got just that. Unfortunately for us, this got them so badly that they resigned from the match. Next, White opens with MRF and age, using the traditional opening that every girl will have received at least once in their life. Girls aren't a fan of this book move though, and most often than not, it will not end well for the guy playing it. Black responds with "chicken jockey," trying to be funny with a cornball move, but leaving the whole crowd with a newfound sense of reason to self-delete. Maybe 5 or so months ago, this would have got a giggle out of the 5-year-olds, but if that's their target audience, it might be time to check if they're a minor themselves or a man that needs his hard drive checked. Minor, don't worry, I like him young. What the f have I just read? We're only on the second game of the video, and we've already come across a certified PDF file. White plays an insane blunder on the offense, trying to start an attack, but leaving their queen out for the taking, which is never good. I hope the cops are watching this specimen closely. Black asks, "Damn, what does that mean, chat?" continuing to respond with the Generation Beta slang, confirming in fact that they are a minor to White, not that White cares. This good move should in theory deter the opponent, but in a game like this, I'm not sure that will be the case. Resigning might be the only option Black has left to walk away from the game as a winner. White pushes onwards with, "So I'm guessing between 9 to 13. Perfect. Playing a criminal move, and that's gotta be life sentence worthy. I'm not sure what you think, but this definitely doesn't feel like something the human or not bot would say, so I'm pretty sure Black has their answer to this game lined up. Black replies, "Sorry, but I only like them 60, choosing to troll their opponent rather than take the win straight away. An excellent move here, does well at pushing closer towards a checkmate to the point that it's almost impossible for White to defend against it. This is why they choose to resign, revealing their human status, but I hope the app can track their identity because this player needs a visit from some form of officer." Next, presumably answering a question, White kicks things off with 15, "What about you?" in a book move, trying to make sure that any sort of riz that's about to take place is happening on legal terms. Black does the bare minimum and responds with, "Glad I checked before anything got racy. I'm a bit too old for you, but compared to the menaces that are going to be in this video, I'll grade it a good move for avoiding a very obvious trap from White." Continuing to try and pull off said trap, White hits back with, "I don't mind," playing the first inaccuracy of the game because it's usually the older player that says creepy statements like this, not the player who's meant to be the victim. The only thing that makes sense here is that White is trying to set up a trap, but the truth is, they're probably just weird as fuck. Doubling down on defense, Black plays, I do, that's a bit sketchy, staying legal and doing us all proud. It's such a breath of fresh air seeing law-abiding citizens on a platform full of degenerates. This excellent move communicates that things should not be happening between them and this minor, and that they should decide to abort the game. Unfortunately though, there are too many moves deep for the game to be aborted, so White replies okay, trying to get a stalemate out of the match with a good move. Now, if this was your regular conversation, it would end here because both are seemingly happy to do just that. In Texas though, you and I both know that this can only go one way. Would you actually mind sending a picture of your panties? Okay, time out, bro. I thought Black was normal. After an entire game of putting up a generational defense when Black got the chance to win, they threw the basketball at a crowd member sitting in the top row. Considering this a blunder, it's safe to assume that the member who got hit was a child. I have so many ways I could describe this Reddit mod with a nickbeard, but I think it's better that we just give it a blunder and move on. Of course, they are receiving a ban from TextChest though. Next, he's cute, what's his number, is White's crazy opening to a kid that doesn't look a day older than 5, and I'll give her the benefit of the doubt with a good move because we don't know her true intentions. It is easy to assume she's trying to form her own version of Epstein Island and collecting kids like Infinity Stones, but maybe this is just normal riz to try and speak to the father. Black states, "If you really want it, I can give it to you." For some reason, the parental figure of this child has agreed to give their number to a stranger, which is dangerous for all sorts of reasons. I'm by no means trying to be a Karen, but even I can be responsible sometimes, and this is definitely a blunder. You'd be a better dad than this one if you left at childbirth. White creates a condition by replying, "Only if he's funny," and why don't they know that beggars can't be choosers? They get what they're given, and White is overstepping the line here considering they've already secured a 5-year-old's number, so there's no point in pushing their luck with such a mistake. Black's inner salesman comes out, and they reply with, "I think he's a bit of a jokester, and I must say, he must be a very good wingman." However, I don't think letting a grown-ass woman drop game on your Cocomelon watching son is something good to slap on the wingman portfolio. It might end up with the kids being given to someone else, hence making this play another mistake. A ver is White's response, which would make more sense to me in Mandarin, but fortunately they follow up with a phone number, so we get the message. White is so desperate that they give up on asking for their number and go all out by sending their own, which is a new level of degeneracy and a blunder. Any good player would resign here and never tell their son this happened, but we both know by now Black is not a good player. From the child's phone, Black messages goo goo gaga, playing a brilliant move and proving us all wrong. I really thought they were about to post their kid up on the phone to a random woman in their mid-20s, but this entire time they've been waiting to message themselves. White sprinted headfirst into this checkmate, and if it wasn't for their intentions potentially being illegal, I would feel sorry for them. Next, White sends a cat picture followed up by, "I'm gonna fuck him," giving us all the evidence we need to purge him from existence. Seeing a kitten with eyes that cute and thinking this of all things is something that only the twisted of minds use and a clear outrageous move. Hell is justified even if they don't go ahead and fuck the cat because the thought is evil enough. In response, Black plays, "You're completely crazy. This is my cat," shitting themselves because who wants their cute pet to suffer this fate? As much as this move is normal though, it does jack shit to try and save the cat, so it has to go down as a miss for that reason. Wasting a move like this is not very smart, especially in crazy circumstances like this. Oops, wrong person, sorry, revealing that this is a rage bait scheme. White hits back with an excellent move perfectly designed to piss off their opponent. Yes, this form of rage bait is unethical as heck, but you've got to do what you can to win a game of text chess, and that's coming from a grandmaster. Black asks, "What do you mean? You kidnapped my cat?" once again reacting in a normal way, but in the sense of winning, the best way to describe this is a silly mistake. As I said before, you can't waste a move reacting emotionally to your opponent and instead should defend or attack. The rage bait gambit makes people do this, and while White is playing it well, it is always possible to avoid being trapped. White finalizes the rage bait by playing, "It feels so good to fuck a cat," drooling emoji, oops, wrong person again, sorry, checkmating their opponent in ugly fashion. Bro has the humor of the class clown of middle school, but it worked this time and got the win, so who am I to dog on it? Get it? Dog on it. Anyway, not being funny is a form of rage bait at the end of the day. No, I did not mean that about myself. Next, just kidnap me already. The key opening is used by White here, revealing their biggest fetish before the game has even started, in a mistake. I've never truly understood women who are into shit like this, but people like what they like. Personally, I just like women full stop, and I don't care about all the other stuff like being kidnapped, and while I am pretty much perfect, other people have their preferences. I am, by the way, 8'4" and a feminist. Black replies with, "Haha, you want me to be a criminal," smoothly laughing off the creepy opening, but making the inaccuracy of playing along. If a D1 pervert posts up in your DMs like this, the last thing you're meant to do is play along, but this fatal mistake has already been made. By the way, when I told you guys to DM me last video, I was joking. I got a bunch of women DMing me. Definitely women, trust me. So please stop messaging me. I do not want to see your weird DMs or your weird flirting. Anyway, my apologies. I assumed you already were a criminal, because that's where I'm from. It's illegal to be looking that fine. Hold on a second, I need to vomit. White plays one of the worst cornball moves we have seen on the channel since they got introduced, and the secondhand embarrassment I am feeling right now is honestly indescribable. I can't fathom how bro played that line in his head and thought the Riz was acceptable, but you and I both know it isn't. Somehow though, Black reads it and lets out a smile because they hit back with, "Haha, that's smooth, damn," showing off that their standards are lower than the Earth's mantle, literally below ground level. The best move here would have been insulting White for their corny nature, but instead they play this mistake which ends the game in a stalemate. At least they're both happy, but it's at the cost of my joy. To make my joy come back, visit textchess.store with a link in the description to buy the merch that's guaranteed to increase your chances with the Huz, and maybe I will DM you back. Also, remember to like and subscribe while you're down there for the sole reason that I am really cool. Next, White explains they look absolutely heavy, need help picking them up, and usually this would be a weird opening, but considering Black posted a close-up of their jugs, it's warranted to mention that this is why, and I'll let it slide as a book move. Black gets back with, "Oh, they aren't that heavy, lol, politely declining the offer, which they have the right to do. If anything, their response is kind because instead of directly rejecting their opponent, they're still letting the conversation continue and giving them a second chance, which is a good move. It's now up to White to use his second chance. White then plays, "I don't believe you, I'll have to check them myself to make sure," throwing away their second chance like it's garbage bag. Doubling down on the heavy titty route might be up there with the dumbest decision in text chess and a major inaccuracy. She ain't gonna let you hit, bro. LMFAO, Black gives a dry as hell response and a boring move, trying to bore their opponent away from being a creep. The easiest option would have definitely be punching the report button as hard as possible and then blocking them, but who am I to question them? Women are independent after all. Trust me, I wear a quarter zip and drink matcha. I'm also listening to Taylor Swift while writing this. White triples down with, "I'm professionally obliged to make a full inspection. For research purposes, when can we book an appointment?" Being corny, but not corny enough to be a cornball. This blunder tries to sound quirky, but in reality just makes him sound like a Discord mod rounding up kittens in their server. It leaves a lot of gaps in their defense wide open. Black chooses to ignore the message, which is honestly the best move, but unlucky for them, White sends a follow-up message which reads, "Damn blank, was I not desperate enough? I was ready to crawl and beg for you tonight," taking their humiliation to a whole nother level with an outrageous move. This is voluntary embarrassment at this point, and bro is gambling everything that his opponent doesn't mass screenshot of him and put it online. It looks like that happened in front of 148,000 subscribers. Sorry. Black responds to this one with, "Oh damn," dropping another boring move, praying that White thinks they're too dull to be perverted against, and resigns the game. As much as this move is boring actually, let's grade it a great move because it's actually quite a good strategy. White literally barks with, "Should I bark for you or cook for you to get me bonus points, or both?" Moaning emoji, to which I could feel my skin crawling. "You're gonna pay me to eat food cooked by this gooner because I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't had a shower in weeks. I hate to break it to you, buddy, but it isn't the 2020 lockdown anymore. You have to clean yourself." Yet another blunder from White keeps them on the back foot, and I'm starting to lose all hope. You can do both, but still get no bonus points. Black plays a brilliant move on the offense, capitalizing on White's desperation and giving the opportunity to embarrass themselves even more. Their rook is also captured now, making their defense much weaker, so White's chances of winning are very slim now. White hits back with Ruthless. "I think you just hate me, and I like it," stooping down to a level that you don't see online very often unless you're a subscriber of my channel. Disastrously, this miss puts White in a situation of no recovery, and no matter what happens from this point forward, the damage has already been done. Entering troll mode now that they've already won, Black asks, "What? No, I have a PP," making White question their entire sexuality and existence in a move that their 2D brain probably can't even comprehend. Great move. White responds with LMAO what? Crying emoji, clearly in denial that they find someone with a third leg attractive. Little does bro know that it is 2020-25 and there's rightfully nothing wrong with being gay. He should just give in to his feelings. Unlike me, because I'm not gay. I'm grading this a forced move because what else are you meant to say? White follows up with, "Do you want me to tickle your balls?" putting an offer on the table that I will gladly take up if Black doesn't. I'm sure I have a lot of competition too because who wouldn't want to experience a tickle? Obviously I'm joking, who would want to do that? This offers a blunder for being so incredibly weird. If you accept this, you totally need to get help. Totally. If you send me money, you can do more. Black plays their second brilliant move of the game, trying to monetize the match in an opportunity that looks like it could actually pay off. He will probably make way more than me. I know people have their opinions on shit like this, but if a girl paid me to hate them, I would so take it. White surprisingly holds their grounds and hits back with, "I thought I was doing the begging roll. That doesn't sound fun." And as much as this is still weird, you have to praise that they aren't willing to spend hard-earned money on affection. It's definitely a good move for avoiding that absolute level of degeneracy. Black replies, "Let me have some money and I'll let you tickle my sister's balls." Flex emoji, wink emoji, "I'ma be your wingman," selling their sister like she's a worker in the Amsterdam red light district. Going down as their first mistake, this unethical move cannot be defended and I hope their sister doesn't suffer. LMFAO, you're the most confusing pimp I've ever met. Even family is not safe from you. I'm not even sure who I'm talking to now, is White's response, clearly happy with his business exchange, and Black's sister needs to hide where she can. They should do what they did to dipshit Jarek in Stranger Things and hide her in a barn, except from something far worse than a demogorgon. Next, throwing us into a pre-established game, White starts with oof, laughing emoji, haha, and considering the lack of context, it only makes sense to rate this as a book move. Black decides to respond with 2 question marks, which is exactly what I'm thinking, so hopefully we get answers. This good move pries out information for not only them, but us too, so you have to respect it. Finally giving us the context, White explains that 27 is a little old for me, being honest about their young age in order to save Black from receiving pedophilia allegations, or even worse, actually committing it. Like I said in an earlier match, this is the bare minimum, but compared to people usually in my videos, it's a great move. You're literally 34, Matt. Holy plot twist. The plot twist of the century from Black reveals that this game has far more to it and is a prime example of absolute cinema. White is actually the legal flirter here, or at least the creepy one, because 27 being too old for a 34-year-old definitely isn't normal. Calling this out is an excellent move, and I'd like to see how White defends this one here. White plays, "Best of luck out there," choosing to ignore the entire message and end this conversation like an NPC. To be honest, considering there were no real ways to defend this, dipping is probably the best move as it saves himself from a very embarrassing checkmate. Now that the opponent has clearly resigned, Black asks, "This is a joke, right?" You, Matt, clearly very angry about the game, and rightfully so. However, Matt has resigned, so swearing at a brick wall is kind of embarrassing and an inaccuracy. I think we might have a schizophrenic on our hands. Next, White likes Black's photo in a traditional book move, moving their pawn to e4. Out of seemingly nowhere, Black asks, "Did you kidnap a child?" as you do on occasion. I have no idea why they chose to ask such an insane question, but I guess it is important to know whether or not your potential boyfriend is a kidnapper or not, so a great move for trying to get to the bottom of this. I'm not sure about what you think, but I'm pretty sure it would be a deal breaker for most. I mean, I don't know about me. White honestly replies with, "The court said I didn't," and that's so fucking funny. This is peak humor, and Black would definitely be an idiot not to fall for him after such an excellent move. That is if he's definitely joking. Of course, if he is serious, I don't allow it, but it's very obviously a joke. Do not cancel me, please. Next, no, White is clearly in denial about something, and I'm pretty sure it's not about the death of Padme, unless they're called Anakin, of course. Jokes aside, something crazy must have been said to warrant a no in full capital letters and with 3 or 4 O's, but as a response, it's a good move. Black responds with, "Don't worry, I don't mind it," and I feel like we've been left with more plot holes in the Star Wars sequels. Yeah, we're coming for Star Wars in this game. Due to all the missing context, it would be unfair to rate this above a good move, so I'll keep it as exactly that. White gets defensive and finally provides context by playing, "I'm not racist, I have a black friend," using the oldest trick in the book with a definite inaccuracy. If you're a raging racist, at least own it and don't use this excuse because it just makes you even less tolerable. I already hate White and want Black to take home the win. Santa better deliver coal to White on Christmas. "I accept you the way you are," is Black's response, stepping down to a level even lower than their opponent, which I didn't even know was possible. Bro openly supports racism, which surely has to be a crime, right? If it isn't a felony in real life, then it has to be a felony according to text chess rules and results in a ban. However, for the sake of our entertainment, I'll let them finish the game after this blunder. Choosing to be even more racist, White replies, "No, I eat curry and I wear black," acting like they're exempt from racism because of their funeral off fashion taste and their good taste in food. I say good, but it really depends on what curry they're into. Like their opponent, they end their time on text chess with a blunder and get hit with the ban hammer. Next, White opens with Oliver, simply stating the name of their opponent and a means of greeting them with a book move. Black responds with, "Yeah," encouraging them to expand on their greeting with a book move too. This shit could go either way and there really isn't much to say about it yet. I'm gonna save my words for the later messages. Did you test positive or negative? White plays a great move on the offense, seeking the answer to a very important question. We know they're not asking about pregnancy unless Oliver is a nickname, so I'm gonna assume it's an STD, to which wanting to know the answer is key. You can't blame White for wanting to know the answer here. Black pushes back with positive, confirming to what I am going to assume is their partner that good things are about to go downhill in their relationships. On the surface, being honest is a good move, but since this will definitely detriment the relationship, it has to go down as a blunder, and marriage is definitely not on the cards. Proving my point, White replies with, "Jewish N-word, I hope you die so the Austrian painter would be happy, and then we could put pictures of you N-word and say a Jewish N-word left us some space in this world." Okay, that was not necessary. What is it with racism in these last 2 games? Racism will never get anywhere other than a blunder, and once again, 2 players get hit with a ban hammer. It's rare we get 2 winless games in a row, especially when all 4 of the players get banned. Next, to hopefully start a more rule-following game, White puts "someone with a generations-long sadness in their eyes and love in their heart" on their profile to tell people what kind of man they're looking for. I don't know why someone normal would want their man to always look sad, but I guess you guys finally have a chance of getting a girlfriend, so yeah, good move. Black messages back to the criteria with "eyes of a shell-shocked WW2 vet, cars are just like war for real, with a heart full of caffeine and nicotine." I'm pretty sure being full of sadness for generations doesn't involve pumping nicotine and caffeine into your addicted body, but White might like it, so I can't judge yet. That's why I'll grade it as a good move, but it's by no means anything special. White says "you're hot," showing off their standards as if they have any. Finding this attractive is genuinely side and reminds me of these memes where girls fall for druggies just because they're tall and have fluffy hair. I can't not rate this a mistake, and if their father saw this coming after birth, they'd have run away to the deserted regions of Australia 5 minutes before childbirth. Crazy thing is, I was thinking the same about you. Want to commit crime together? As goofy as this AI Riz from Black is, based on the audience, I actually see it having potential. This excellent move sets up a promising position on the offense, and if White fails to spot it, then they could be on the bad end of a nasty checkmate. White asks what crime, playing along with Black's game and allowing them to show off their true potential in a good move. A lot of women would leave shit like this on red, but as weird as this one is, at least she gives new players a second chance at making her blush. Black continues their attack by saying "it would be criminal for us to get coffee together. Hell, it would be a capital offense." Again, showing their corny sides, but girls can sometimes be into great moves like this. As much as it makes the average guy's skin crawl, it makes the average girl see confidence and potential for good humor, which are very good traits in a guy. I get complimented all the time, usually by my grandma, but that still counts. I'm not a huge coffee girl. Damn, I feel bad for Black. They had the bravery and confidence to shoot their shot, but White threw it right back in their face and rejected them in a parry move, trying to deflect their offer away. As cool as it is, women do get to choose who they want though, and you can't really fault them for not wanting a corny guy, despite the fact that he's hot and giving false hope. White continues and offers to share drunken cigs in a park, drive around at night, windows down, music blaring, catch a movie, or get making tramp stamp tats, tapping into the degeneracy that Black approved of earlier with a brilliant move. Coming back from humiliation like this shows true power, and I'd definitely smash. Half of me wants Black to drop another rejection just to keep the White player on the market. Black plays, that's more my style, following into White's gambit and begging the man to take care of her dreams. You and I both know their house is going to absolutely reek of cigarettes and alcohol. Those are the smells of laughter and good times. Take notes, kid. Good move. White hits back with, finally, someone with class. So, when are we punishing grandmas and running over bicyclists, taking shit to a new level? Not only is this duo going to get addicted to substances, but they're going to commit some devious crimes. We need to get Batman on the case because these two are moving like prime Harley Quinn and the Joker. Not a single grandma is safe. Other than these activities being highly illegal and unethical, it builds a strong bond that only criminals can understand and is an excellent move. Depends when you are free. I'm currently on a pilgrimage, summer break. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure a pilgrimage is a religious event, so why on earth would Black be there if they plan on being a fiend after it? Hopefully, it sways them away from the crime lifestyle and saves the new Gotham City from being terrorized by the grandma-falling bandits. A pilgrimage might help Black, and being there is a brilliant move, but thinking of these things while they're there is a definite blunder. The only place that can save them is my Discord server, which you can join with the link in the description. Over there, we publicly execute people who do illegal things because it's fun to watch. An example of a crime is insulting me in any way, shape, or form, and entering my DMs. Please stop sending me DMs. Anyway, next, Ola Fly is Thali, short for Taliban, because you are bomb bomb bomb. White starts with the Orlos Gambit, making an edgy joke and getting ignored, which is hard to recover from and a mistake. They decide to follow up with Vale no fue mi mejor línea, lo arreglo con un café o una cena. Sad emoji. Yeah, I totally agree. I've never heard a more true sentence in my life. If I was to have a guess at what this means, it's probably asking if Black ignored them because they speak the language rather than English, and to be honest, this is a great move on the recovery. Black responds with, haha, hola, blank. Why claro una cena me parece estupendo? Probably laughing and confirming that they did not understand the joke due to a language barrier. This good move leaves both parties happy, and especially me. Don't worry guys, I'll start learning whatever language this is to accurately translate in the future. It's Russian, right? Next, White clearly feels and asks, can you take a picture of you right now? And I'm pretty sure we both know what they mean by picture. Any random man sending a text on iOS isn't going to be hunting for a cute selfie. They'd much rather be sent something far more sinister. That's why this is a mistake. Black sends a half-faced selfie and explains that I just woke up, crying emoji, trying to come up with an excuse for being chopped. As much as they are the victim in this situation, this excuse is but for some reason everyone uses the guaranteed miss. If you're chopped, then you're chopped, just say it how it is. White thinks differently though and says, not gonna lie, you're cute, what are you up to? And all I'm picturing is that meme where the camera zooms out to 600 or 700 Buzz Lightyear action figures in Toy Story. This is the most generic riz that any man can use, and even if it works in the occasional girl with low standards, the chances are even lower. Boring move. Just got my flu shot. What about you? Black honestly explains what they are up to, but this exposes their earlier move because how does someone just wake up but also just have their flu shot? Black really isn't helping themselves, and this inaccuracy further weakens their position. White responds to Black's questions with, oh, you're just here bored as let's have some fun, proposing a seemingly innocent offer, but only a fool would actually see it that way. Based on the nature of the game so far, it's very evident that White's looking for some suspicious fun rather than a traditional board game, which is a blunder. By the way, do you guys like Monopoly? I always win. Black now has a lot of opportunity to breach their opponent's defense, but instead of swiping them up, they play valid, okay. Instead, not only have they basically said the exact same NPC reply twice, but they're setting White up perfectly to attack them with a miss. At this point, I've lost hope in Black, and White is probably going to be a very successful pervert. Let's have some naughty fun, are you in? Expanding on their previous move, White executes their trap in a definite blunder, because it's creepy as shit. Also, why do they use the word naughty? Like, bro. Someone needs to get their hands on his hard drive because there has to be some form of dodgy shit inside of it. Black has one more chance to defend, so push back with, no, sorry, not right now. Finally locking and blocking off White's consistent threat with a brilliant move. Comebacks like this rarely happen, but bro had an insane redemption and all my respect for Black has been restored. White says, why? Let's do it real quick, confirming their victimization to a checkmate with a blunder. Begging does nothing for them except making them look desperate, which is even less of a good look. I'm so glad Black screenshotted this because White should be embarrassed as hell. Next, okay, I have a crush on my mom. How do I ask her out? Lots of question marks. Plex, tell me I'm too stupid. Oh brother, you're not too stupid, you're too psychotic. Having a crush on your literal mother is already cooked, but admitting your affection for her to a friend is just asking for yourself to be bullied out of town. White better have a valid passport because they need to leave the country ASAP now that this is out. What's even crazier is that the screenshotter didn't even blur out the name or profile picture, completely exposing this user to people who may have them added. If any of these people are real friends, bro is well and truly finished. I know I've already dished out a criminal move in this video, but I can't help but use it again here. Next stop, Alabama. Next, White states I'm a minor, preventing both players from getting into any legal trouble, and if Black happens to be too old, they have their chance to abort the game. book move. Black hits back with okay, and I never said I wanted anything weird, hitting a gray area because it's still weird talking to a random minor online, regardless of the intentions behind it. If I was a police officer, I would already have enough evidence to want to arrest the mother, but innocent until proven, I guess. I'm calling this a mistake because it isn't outright being illegal yet. You seem like a nice guy, but I don't feel really okay with talking to adults, and I don't know IRL. Thankfully, White listened to their internet safety classes back in school, and it paid off in a trophy move. They deserve Star of the Week or whatever they give out nowadays. Heck, they should even be awarded their pen license. I'm proud to say I was the second in my class to receive my pen license, but technically first because I slimed out the girl who got it before me. Black keeps pushing and sends, but why? My age doesn't define me, but unfortunately for the villain of the game, this is an accuracy, because that isn't how society works, because age defines them by law. He can call it wrong all he wants, but I'm pretty sure we all agree it should be weird for an adult to contact a stranger in the form of a minor online. If anyone disagrees with that, I'm sure I'll see you in one of my future videos. White replies, I'm still not very comfortable talking to strangers, that's why I left the server, providing a valid reason for escaping what is probably the pedophilia headquarters. There's a lot of those on Discord. This great move takes a step back and gives the opponent a good idea for doing so, meaning if they're pursuing, it's even more obvious who the bad guy is. White asks, so what are you on Discord for? Isn't everyone a stranger until you get to know them, completely disregarding the fact that they said things are different when a minor is involved with a mistake. In principle, White hasn't said anything particularly arrestable, but they've definitely come close and lose the game as a result of this. Next, White uses the most unoriginal opening in the game that reads, hey, how old are you? But despite being boring, it's the safe option, which a lot of people don't take. It's always a good move to check your opponent's age before starting the conversation. Black explains that they are underage in a forced move, scaring White away before it is too late for them to turn back. This play is very generous and stops a potential criminal record from being handed out. At least that's what it should do. In a state of denial, White asks seriously, how old are you, lol, continuing to press towards in the hopes that Black was playing some sort of pointless prank. In my eyes, this is false hope at its finest and a certain mistake, but I won't judge too much yet in case it actually was humor from Black. Black doubles down with me and says underage, again confirming that their first move was not a mistake with an excellent move. Now White has absolutely no excuse to push further, and if they decide to, I will no longer be refraining from clowning on them. Underage is too young for me, lol, I'm 21. Oh damn, White is a normal dude. Absolute cinema and a great move. That's surprising considering they've double checked the age, but the only flaw here is that instead of ending the conversation, they left it open for response, which still gives it potential to go downhill. Let's hope it doesn't, unless you're rooting for White to be odd, which would be pretty strange. Okay, is the dry and boring move from Black in response, but in all fairness, I can also see why they did it. They just want to end the conversation, move on to a boy who is fresh into the double digits rather than a double digits veteran. The class is probably a better place to look than Snapchat, but oh well. White weirdly asks, are you 18 or older, meaning one of two things. They have Alzheimer's or they want her to lie for legal reasons. They have Alzheimer's or they want her to lie for legal reasons. They have Alzheimer's or they want her to lie for legal reasons. Blunder, 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 blunder. I'm underage, not changing their answer. Black plays a good move on the defense by not making things too aggressive because of the slight chance of memory loss. The best move would have just been hitting the block button, but considering that they're underage, they've done a good enough job here to avoid ending up in a random dude's basement. White explains, LMAO, I just want to know if you're 18 or older to see if you'd be down to chill sometime. And now both of my eyebrows are starting to raise. Black has stated their age not once, not twice, 3 times my eyebrows are raising at this blunder. Did I mention my eyebrows are raising? For real though, the FBI needs to get involved in this case because it's actually a bit too serious to simply be dealt with by the Texas admins. We're not Roblox, we actually inform law enforcement because it's more important than kicking one account off an app. Okay, that's a joke, I don't actually inform law enforcement. Most of these messages are very old. Just had to give off that legal exclaimer. I'm underage. Black ends the game with a move that checkmates their opponent. There isn't really much else I can say. Next, White opens with, it's okay, it's a safe space, and a wholesome good move, making their opponent feel comfortable so they can open up, which is some solid 4D chess if you ask me, getting Black to spill their secrets, which will surely secure the win. Black falls right into their trap and hits back with, no it's not, I'm a predator, any place that includes me is not safe, allegedly, exposing something that should not be exposed with an outrageous move. This hasn't just cooked their chances of winning this tech chess game, but their chances of getting a job in the future because digital print is real, bro. Trust me, I know based on everything I've read out of this channel. There's probably enough voice recordings of me to get me locked up when AI gets too good. But so am I, so it's fine. Okay, why the f did nobody tell me that there was some sort of predator meetup or some shit? Is this an app built for predators to meet or something? Because what are the chances White and Black both have cursed minds? These two should be banned from sharing a cell when they go to jail because back-to-back outrageous moves are dastardly and culprits shouldn't be allowed to combine their powers, even behind bars. Encouraging the nastiest duo of all time, Black says we should have a baby and name him Predator Squared, and I'm pretty sure they mean kidnapping a baby above all. Moving aside the serious part, this is quite good humor from Black, but their future job interviews will end up saying otherwise. It was a joke, won't hold up, unless it's for a minimum wage McDonald's job. blunder. OMG, yes, goals for real, explosion squared. Yeah, society is well and truly cooked. White goes to show that we have no help left, so AI might as well take us over at this point. Like, who's complaining? Next, White replies to a girl who would look hot if they were a guy with pinch emoji, ner, got your tongue, trying to act all quirky and playful, but in reality embarrassing themselves with a cornball move. Black responds with, no, please, I need that for the yellow snow, playing along in what is a good move because people are allowed to have taste, but if someone opened up with a nose gambit to me, I'd already have swiped off the app and gone to Tinder instead. Don't worry, I'll eat the yellow snow then spit it at you, I'm a generous man. Throwing all his eggs in one basket, White plays a risky move and more than likely launched his phone across the room and started cleaning the house after setting it. As much as it's odd, I highly respect the odds of this great move. Black closes with hot, allowing White to checkmate her and eventually get himself inside her pants. To get inside my pants, my DMs, your crushes, you should watch the playlist on screen so you can watch and learn how to play tech chess like a pro. Again, please stay out of my DMs. I'm tired